Hello and welcome back to episode 11 of the Football Commentaries podcast. We've had a little break, like a 2-month break, but we're back. Don't know when this is going to be uploaded, but I'm joined by a guest, Harvey again. I think you've been at
Hello.
every single one, so
I
thought
have.
I'd keep
Let's
that
go.
going. The last one was on the 11th of May, so yeah, we just had a bit of a break really, just is what it is. That was an update on football around the world. So that was actually the point where we didn't know anything, like about what was going to happen with like the return of the Premier League. Obviously now, 2 months later, it's finished, which I think is actually quite impressive by the
Yeah.
Premier League. To be fair to it, we just couldn't really see a way of it coming back. Like we kind of thought it was going to come back, but then we were like, well, how? So we were a bit on the fence of how they were going to do it. But they've done it. They got the Premier League finished. Liverpool won the league, lifted the title in front of no one, which I quite enjoyed. So that
You didn't.
was fun. Yeah, you can tell I'm not a Liverpool fan. There's one point I will apologise to anyone in the commentary of the Liverpool Chelsea. If you look, but you can look back at it because it is quite funny. When Liverpool were awarded their free kick for Trent's goal, I kind of I was supposed to be neutral as a commentator, but I kind of let loose a little bit, and kind of basically called Mane and Salah and the whole Liverpool Football Club cheats. So I don't apologise for that. If you look back, it wasn't a free kick and it wasn't a foul, so it's just justifiable. But yeah, just apologies for that. But they do need to stop diving, Mane and Salah, 'cause it's quite embarrassing personally. But this episode's just going to be on the final day that's happened today as we record this. It's going to be uploaded, I think, like Wednesday of next week. So that would be have a look, Wednesday, the 29th of July. So there'll be a Football Manager episode on the Friday, all being well. So yeah, we're just going to get into it. We're going to start with the Champions League places, because that was, I think, the main... I think that's where everyone's attention was as neutrals today. If no one had anything to play for. The big one was Leicester, Manchester United, and as a Manchester United fan, how did you find the game in general?
How did I find it? Scary, nervous, worried. But yeah, it was nerve-wracking, but somehow we got there in the end. It was a close game. One for the neutral, but as a fan, wow, it was painful.
Yeah, as a neutral, I probably would have turned over because there was no other games that had importance. I watched through it. I think without the mistake from Chowdhury and then the penalty and then whatever happened after, I think it would have ended 0-0.
Yeah, I could have seen it going that way.
I could see in 0-0 last minute, Leicester just throw everything at it. But the more the game went on, the Leicester had Leicester had the bigger chances. Which wasn't many. Let's put that out there. There wasn't many big chances at all, but the ones that were there, Leicester made them. I thought decisiveness in the final third killed off Leicester. Ian actually twice had 2 chances to make the right pass and didn't. So I think that killed off Leicester, but I think for United, getting this Champions League is massive. Huge.
Yeah.
Do you think this could make an impact for United in terms of transfers? The fact that if they didn't get the Champions League, do you think players may have looked towards different clubs? Or
yeah, 100%. I think with Pogba, I think he's first of all he's the big one because his contract is being negotiated, and I think if we missed out on Champions League football, and I think that could have been him gone. I think rumours of Sancho. If that happens, I think getting Champions League football obviously gives it a huge, bigger chance. And I think just getting money in general towards transfers from the league position, because if we finish fifth, that would have been a huge loss. And I've read things like if United don't get Champions League, then will miss out on 70 million from sponsors and things like that. So it's just money as well, which is huge.
That's like a transfer in itself. 70 million. That's like
Yeah,
you can buy like a big player for that amount. That's pretty much Maguire, isn't it? 70 million.
yeah,
Like, near enough. I think the Champions League for United, I think it was a must. But
yeah,
it's about like, when you got on this run of form of being unbeaten in the league. I feel like
yeah,
the Champions League was needed. It's like you've turned it around. You've got to this position. I think if you not bottled it, because like anyone could have won today, depending on how the game went.
yeah.
But if you blew that top four, I think that would have been like quite a dampener on what was a very good
Oh
end to the
yeah,
season for
yeah,
United. Fernandes was just unreal. Like today, he was a bit poor. I know he scored the pen, but like in general, he didn't
yeah,
play very well. Chelsea didn't play very well. West Ham wasn't really in the game. But I think if you can build around him and get
yeah,
him in the Champions League as well, because obviously Fernandes don't want to be playing Europa League. He's
yeah.
nearly all the United team is too good for Europa League. So I thought Champions League was massive, especially with Sancho on the cards of maybe coming in. And with Pogba, are you happy he's going to sign a new deal? Are you a fan of Pogba? Because he's very hit and miss.
Yeah, he is. I think today he had a bit of a shaky game. I think he done all right, but there was some times where he just lost out on the ball because he was just trying to take on one too many.
Hmm.
But there was a chance where I think it was Martial, but Pogba basically made that with a nice little
Yes.
1-2.
Yeah.
That was good. So his ability's there. It's just um, if he gets the confidence and carries on, and him and Bruno, if they can link up more next season, then he can push on and hopefully he can do better than what he's doing now.
Yeah, because I think Pogba did a pass as well to Fernandes for a goal. It was well offside, Fernandes
Oh
for one of
yeah,
the passes, but that was
yeah,
good. But
yeah,
with Pogba, it's like this could change next season when he, hopefully doesn't get injured.
yeah,
If he can like perform like week in week out, because it's like you can't doubt his ability. He's a fantastic midfielder, but it's
yeah,
like you don't know what you're getting with him. It's like that's with a lot of
yeah,
players, to be fair. It's like City, they've got De Bruyne, pretty much plays well every single game.
yeah,
Liverpool, Mane, kind of plays like that. And I feel like Pogba, I think they've mentioned it in the commentary Sky, like, I think he was the man they always looked at as the key player. But now
yeah,
Fernandes has come in, that takes a lot of pressure off Pogba, of having to be,
mm,
having to be the one who creates, works back, runs everywhere.
yeah,
I think that's been taken away from him. So that was
yeah,
I thought he did okay today. Take away his handball against West Ham, which I still can't get over now. How like what in his brain when I'm going to handle this. But I think next to Matic, I think if you obviously upgrade Matic in the years to come,
yeah,
I think Pogba can actually work in this United team. Which I don't know about you, but we didn't. I didn't think Pogba would have got back in the United team in terms of he just didn't fit the system. But do you
mm.
think he fits his system and he'll stick into that position, or do you think Solskjaer will try and move him about? What do you think he's going to do with him?
I think depending on the transfers that we bring in, I think we could maybe see him go forward. Um, but see, I think he's doing well in the position that he's in now, and I think the players, for example, bringing in Bruno Fernandes, it's a huge upgrade to someone like Mata or Pereira. So
Yeah,
he's getting the
100%.
players around him. So
Hmm.
I think with better players and more transfers coming in, then it will just overall improve him and hopefully bring out a lot more better performances and have him someone as consistent as like De Bruyne and Mane
Yeah.
week in week out, someone that United need.
Yeah. Well, just because obviously we want to try and get through as many games as we can. We're not going to go through them all, but going to Leicester and getting the Europa League. Do you think obviously the season they've had, it was amazing until this restart. Do you think this season's a success for Leicester? Like in
I
general?
think it is. Yeah, I think despite where they were before the lockdown, they were in a better position than where they finished. I do
Much
think
better.
that if like to considering they were only I think it was 4 points in the end of Champions League. I think they've got to look at that, and they'll take that because they've got European football. They'll do well in the Europa League. It's not like they're going to do badly. They can push on and they can go far. Just looking at where Wolves are now, if Wolves can get that far, then I don't see why Leicester can't.
Yeah, no, that's true. That. Sorry, go on, finish. Sorry.
And just if they bring in a few more transfers, then that'll help the chances even further.
Yeah, that was massive. Like, I'm not gonna lie, at the start of the season, I was like, oh, we've got depth here. Like Leicester, we've got players in all positions who can come in and play well. Like we were wanting like Dennis Pratt, Justin came in. I thought, Leicester could do something this season. Maddison, Pereira, Chilwell injured. Then we have to change the whole system. Like, don't get me, like if them players played today, the game would have been different because Leicester wouldn't have to play a 5-3-2. Like why Leicester would never play a 5-3-2 unless we had to.
Yeah.
Like, let's scrape the barrel. Like it was frustrating. It was frustrating to see because it's like, oh, the depth was there, and then 3 made players get injured, and the depth isn't there. So I think Europa League is actually more of a reason for Leicester to go out and buy, which I think will end up being a good thing. Because Maddison gets injured, who do we bring in? No one. Like Chilwell gets injured. Chilwell getting injured caused us to have to go to 3 at the back. Because if you have like Pereira injured, say, Justin comes in right back, he's fine. But clearly Rodgers had no faith in Christian Fuchs to come in to play left back, which is fair enough. He's 34, no speed. That's fine. But then the fact that we've had to they had to change the whole system. You could see when they like against Bournemouth, Tottenham, 3 at the back just didn't work. Obviously, Soyuncu did whatever he did. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
It's just it was just like the depth was there, and it's like one left back gets injured, and then everything goes out the window. So I think this restart was a big eye opener for Rodgers and the owners and everyone at Leicester to go, right, we need to like not buy big first team players, just good players to be starters, but also happy to be on the bench as well.
Yeah.
Because that seriously was the downfall of Leicester in this restart, having to go that 3 at the back. Just did not work like at any point. Which is fair enough when you play a full season with one system, and then you have to dramatically change it and have to play players out of position. Then it is going to be hard. I think Europa League for Leicester. It'll be interesting as well. Thursday nights aren't easy because you've got Thursdays, then Sunday. Premier League games, or sometimes Monday. So that'll be difficult because obviously they had no Europe
this season.
Do you think obviously it benefited them, but do you think it will bring them down next season having to play Europe, like in terms of their Premier League form, or do you think they'll be able to balance it out?
Yeah, I think they'll be able to balance it out. I think Brendan Rodgers will be able to do something and get them to obviously balance it out. I think it'll be good though overall. I think it'll have a huge impact in a good way because, for example, say if they play the weekend and they lose, instead of having to wait a week to then bounce back, a midweek game can help them turn it around and get them going for the weekend game.
That's a very good point. That actually gives it gives you more less of time to see your mistakes, but gives you more chances to correct them as soon as you can, instead of having to wait a full week to see if this might work or whatever. So I think I don't know. I with Leicester Champions League, because obviously they haven't played in it for so long, I think it would have been so unpredictable how they would have done in the Champions League, obviously depending on the group. But I think Europa League, they can't be disappointed with that. I think they'll go far and challenge for top 4 again next year. So, but that does mean Chelsea did finish 4th. In an overall review, it's obviously a success for Lampard. No Hazard for the first time, transfer ban. Pretty much everyone written them off and kind of gave Lampard this as like a free season of if he doesn't do very well, then there's a lot of reasons why he didn't. But do you think Lampard actually has this a chance of maybe taking Chelsea to the next level after this first season, especially with transfers that he can bring in as well.
Yeah,
like Werner and Ziyech.
I really think that what he's done this season is superb. I think considering he's come in, like you say, no Hazard. Looking at it, he had realistically, he had no one that he could go, oh yeah, you're going to be our standout person who will look for you to get all the goals. And he's been able to get two brilliant signings in Ziyech and Werner. Havertz has been rumoured to have agreed terms as well, which is if he's been able to get Havertz, then that's unbelievable. So he knows what he's doing. He's doing a great job at Chelsea. It's just whether he'll be able to keep it up, which I think he will be able to.
Yeah, you're seeing these signings: Werner, Ziyech, Havertz. Then they'll have Pulisic, Abraham, all these attackers next season. Well, and then you look at the defence.
That's a worry.
Like, he might be going with the next season. Say if he's doesn't get any centre back signings, which if he doesn't, that's a massive worry. But say if he doesn't get anyone in, Chelsea are going to have to just outscore opponents, right?
Yeah.
That is such a that's risky. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. That's a risky plan to have, because if your attackers have a poor day at the office, and then your defence is just inconsistent all the time, then if you want to be challenging for titles, which I think with the attack he's building, I think they'll be up there in terms of goal scoring. But then you've got to have if your defence isn't at it, then there's your attackers can score however many goals, but if you can't defend, then it don't matter. It doesn't add to anything. So I think I'm not gonna lie. I saw Havertz and Ziyech sign. I was surprised. I was like, wow, this is this is big signings. Because if United made these signings, City made these signings, everyone would go off the red. Oh my days. Look at Guardiola and whoever. Look at these brilliant signings. But no one's really spoke about these two signings. Everyone's noticed how big they are, but no one's really gone too over the top about them, which I was surprised about. Yeah. Because Werner's a good player. Seriously, obviously Abraham scored I think 15 this year in the Prem, which is great. It was a great record for Abraham, and then Giroud popped up with quite a few goals in the restart. Do you think Werner can be this 20-goal season striker for Chelsea? Do you think he'll need time to adapt, or do you think he'll kind of hit the ground running at Chelsea?
I think Werner will hit the ground running. I think with the players that Chelsea have signed, Ziyech, and then if they bring in Havertz, them two will link up. Them three will link up brilliantly, and I do think Werner will hit the ground running. I think he will more likely than not be challenging for the Golden Boot. And Chelsea have got a really good signing on their hands.
100%. I don't know where they need to improve it. I don't need centre back. Obviously, that's obvious. But in goal, they've got a serious problem. Obviously, Kepa was dropped today. Willy Caballero came in, absolute legend. And it was you've got. Well, he's obviously not a £72 million goalkeeper, but obviously that's what they had to pay. Because they were panicking because they sold Courtois and they had to buy his release clause. But it's what do you do with that? You bought this guy for 72 million. How much do you think Kepa, someone would pay for Kepa, realistically? Do you think
30 million?
There you go, right?
At a push.
30, 35. So that's already more than half of a loss. He's brought nothing to them, and then they've got to go out and find another keeper. Good keepers are hard to find. They don't come round easy. You've got to look for a good one. So I think for Chelsea, in terms of a rebuild at the back, that will take time, a lot of time. I'm a big fan of Rudiger. I think he's a good centre back. On his day, he can sometimes, mess up a little bit, but I think he's good. So if they could get someone strong to play alongside him and try and bring in a goalkeeper, so if they just get a centre back and a goalkeeper. If obviously Abramovich allows him to do that, I think Chelsea could maybe not push for a title, because at this rate, you've got a minimum get or aim for 100 points to win a league, which is ridiculous. Obviously, that's just the way it is now. But you call in like Liga and the Farmers League, but yet you're getting loads of teams finishing with like 90 whatever points. It's like that is ridiculous how like poor like some of the Premier League teams are. But moving away from Chelsea, that's what I'll just quickly, just while we're on the topic, go to the Championship teams that are coming up. Do you think with what the likes of Norwich, Watford, Bournemouth being relegated, let's be real, they're not big teams realistically that you'd be scared of.
Yeah.
But then you're getting teams like Leeds, West Brom, possibly Swansea, these like new kind of teams that haven't been in the Prem for a while. Do you think they'll make it harder for the big teams? Like when they play them, because when you see like Liverpool play, I don't know, Watford, you're like, oh, so Liverpool will have Liverpool win. But when you see Liverpool maybe coming up against a team like Leeds, so, it begs the question of, Leeds could turn up because obviously the first season back in the Prem, no one likes Leeds, and Leeds like no one else. It's just that's how football is. So do you think like it'll be harder to get as many points with these new kind of exciting teams coming up to the Premier League?
I think with, for example, Leeds, I think going away to Ellen Road, that is going to be tricky for every team in the Prem. I think looking at the teams that could be coming up, like West Brom, I don't think playing them away will be easy. I think going to their home ground, I think that'll be hard. But I think the big teams, I think, will more likely than not be able to beat them at home. But I think away, they'll be asking questions.
Yeah, it's just, like, again, no, like, this is, if depending on where you're from, if you're not from England, you won't really understand why everyone hates Leeds. It's just a thing. Like, everyone just doesn't like them. And so everyone's buzzing at their back, and I am as well. I can't wait to see them go to Old Trafford and, like, teams like that, and go to Liverpool, and so that'll be exciting. But yeah, for Chelsea, top four, FA Cup final, big signings. I think next year they'll be really going at it. Hopefully, maybe causing like a 3-horse race for the league, not just a one, like it has for the last couple of seasons. Obviously, bar last season, but seasons before that, it's mainly just been 1-horse races for a lot of it. So I'm excited they're going to be bouncing back. So, and as well, like, I don't know when we'll do this, doing like when the Premier League starts and everyone's made their signings, but we'll definitely be doing like a Premier League prediction podcast episode. I think that'll be very good. Just on a bit of a segue on this podcast, I want to get it up now. I'm going to get it on my phone. I had a look at it the other day. I don't know if you remember how we made predictions.
Oh, yeah.
And I've still got it. I know like we're kind of going off topic here. But I'm just going to quickly run down my predictions for the table. I don't even know if I got any right, I might have got Wolves. No, I didn't get Wolves. All right, here we go anyway. So this is first to last, so in that order. So it goes Manchester City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, Leicester. So that's Chelsea 5th, United 6th, Leicester 7th. And then Wolves 8th, Everton 9th, West Ham 10th, Palace 11th, Watford 12th, Aston Villa 13th, Bournemouth 14th, Jesus, Southampton 15th, Newcastle 16th, Burnley 17th. Oh, it's a stinker at the bottom. I had a stinker. 18th Brighton, which respectable. They were like talks of going down. Norwich 19th, again not too bad. This is the bad one.
Oh yeah.
20th, Sheffield United. Jesus, oh god, absolute mare. But yeah, we'll be doing an episode like when the season starts of predictions, because they're always funny to look back at.
Yeah.
Because you're never right half the time when you do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, we did not know the power Sheffield United would have had within their tactics. I don't think we had the understanding of like just how hard it is to counter what they do with like their overlapping centre backs. So fair play to them. Did like fall down in the restart. Like I think they finished 9th when they were like 6th. But positive start for them. Let's move on because we are on limited time. We'll go for the relegation battle. it was very interesting for the last 3 games of the season, like where that's where it started to really get interesting. Sorry for that.
Yeah.
We'll go with Bournemouth. We'll go with Bournemouth's game. Did they leave it too? Well, no, they left it too late. But like, did they just push like just too like late? Did they not do enough beforehand?
I think. Yeah, they've left it late. I think, but it's not a bad way to go down with a 3-1 win. But you know, it's they have left it late, and I think that if players like Nathan Ake leave, it's going to make it hard for them to bounce back and come back up next year. But yeah, they've left it too late.
Are you almost like, are you worried for Bournemouth in terms of they could lose Eddie Howe?
Yeah, little bit.
They could lose Ake.
Josh King.
Yeah, Josh King, Wilson. Do you think they'll get? Do you think they'll lose a lot of players, or do you think they'll still be able to? Who do you think they can hold on to? Do you think there is any they can hold on to? Because obviously contracts are a big deal now.
I think they'll be able to hold on to Ramsdale, the goalie.
To be fair, he's just been shafted over with poor defence. Like,
yeah.
I'm a goalkeeper myself now, and like I know he's conceded a lot of goals this year, but he's not a bad keeper. To be fair to him, like anyway, continue. Sorry, just keepers union. Got to.
I think Solanke. I think unless they get a good amount for him, because how much did they pay? 20 million. Yeah.
He's only scored I think it's like 3-4 goals at the end of the season. Like before that, he didn't score in 50 or something like that. So I think they'll be alright keeping hold of him. I think they'll be able to bat away any interest that comes to Solanke. But I can't see them really like that. David Brooks, he's a class player. He'll be gone. They're losing Fraser already. I think Ake will be going. I think that Lewis Cook, he could maybe attract some interest because on his day, I enjoy watching him when he's not injured. Got King, Wilson. Half the team we're naming here.
Yeah.
And then Eddie Howe leaving. I think it's his time to go anyway. I think he's drove the club as far as he can. He kept them in the division for 4 years, which is very respectable when you've got an attendance of about 9,000. So respect to him. But yeah, I think like as a fan in like their club, no disrespect to them, but I'm not disappointed they're going down.
No, yeah.
That sounds a bit harsh, but they're not a big club like a Leeds and like a West Brom. You've got rivalries in the league like Villa West Brom next year. Big game. So yeah, Bournemouth I think just left it too late. Great performances. Great against Everton today. I thought Leicester they played well in that second half. Played really well against City when they got beat 2-1. Deserved something from that game. And obviously it left it too late. And then the other game, Arsenal Watford. I haven't spoke about this yet, and I'll let you speak your thoughts on it first. The sacking of Nigel Pearson, like, what were your opinions when you saw that? Like, what was your first thought when you saw like the breaking news of that?
Well, when I first seen that, I wanted Watford to go down because that was just, why would he do that? Like, unless they are going to bring someone in and be like, right, this is a new manager, he's going to do what he can with 2 games left. But they've brought in caretaker manager who it was silly. I don't know what they were trying to get out of it.
Yeah, it's like for me, it's right. They lost to like West Ham. There was talks of like arguments between obviously the manager and the owner. Yeah. And the teams like with 2 games to go, like the amount of money Watford are going to lose now a season if they can't get back in the Premier is going to be ridiculous. It's like no matter if you've had bad arguments or you've had a fallout, you've got to see it out to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Because Nigel Pearson doesn't come across as a manager to me that would sabotage because something's bad's happened. Or like someone's had an argument with him. Like that obviously we know the Watford owners and what they're like with managers. They just get rid of him when they don't do well or whatever.
Yeah.
When anything tiny happens. But it's like 2 games to go. The hardest 2 games you could have possibly asked for. With City and Arsenal.
Yeah.
And then you decide to sack him. I'm like, if you had those arguments, for the club's sake, obviously he's not thinking about the fans, obviously, not many owners do. Not thought about the fans and got rid of him, and pretty much the owner, on his own, has sent his club to the Championship.
Yeah.
And as a fan, it's obviously, I'm surprised people haven't picked up on who I support yet, but I've not suffered a relegation as a supporter.
No,
I
yeah.
can't even imagine how it feels, especially as Watford. Aston Villa stayed up because of that goal line technology error. They've sat their manager with 2 games to go. Honestly, with the fans, I sympathise with them a lot. But for the owners and the hierarchy who decided to make that decision, what? It's just embarrassing, really.
Yeah.
Look, if it comes out in the next few weeks, I don't think it will, because I think it would have come out already. That Nigel Pearson went, I'm off myself. I'm going. I'm not putting up with this. And then you point fingers somewhere else. But from what we know in the arguments that have circulated after that West Ham game, it's like you've got. Say if there was 8 games left,
Yeah.
I could kind of see it. It would make a little bit more. But for 2 games to go,
Yeah.
they weren't able to see out that season. I thought it was really poor ownership. But yeah, they did lose today. We watched the highlights just before this. We started recording. For me, I think they looked, especially in the second half, unlucky to not get something. I know obviously a point wouldn't get them up, but do you think? I know we did this about Bournemouth, but do you think they'll be able to come back up to the Premier League? Do you think it'll take them a few years? How do you see Watford's future for the next few years panning out?
I think if they're able to hold on to people like Deeney, Ishmael Sarr, and maybe bring in a few players to help bring a bit of life into the club and into the team, and I think they could bounce back. Because I think they've got the squad good enough, but
100%.
the Championship isn't an easy league, and it is unpredictable. So
100%. They're just on paper, their squad's really good. I like they've got one of the most underrated keepers in the league with Ben Foster. He's just incredible. How he doesn't get more praise is beyond me, because he's just insane. People like Pereira, how he's not used more often is just baffles me. Decore, class centre midfielder, he could easily get into a top 8 Premier League club.
Yeah.
Like you said, Sarr, he looks really frightening. Deeney, you're looking on paper, and you go, how have these got relegated? And then you look at the managers and what they do with the managers, and then you kind of go, oh, that's
it's
why.
Not the players.
It's not the players. It's not the fans. It's just the owners. But I was just, for the fans, I was really disappointed. Just because I always look at it. I always look at decisions in the games outside of game time. If I was the club, if I was the fan of that club, how would I feel? And I'm putting myself in a Watford fan shoes and adding everything together, and I just do feel quite sorry for them. Like I said, like you said, don't feel sorry for the club as for the owners, because they've just messed around the club again, and this time they've actually had to pay the price. So it's their own fault. But a decent 3-2. That sounds ridiculous. A decent 3-2 loss. But obviously against Arsenal, who I'm presuming may have just switched off, and I heard apparently they were just trying to get it to Aubameyang for the Golden Boot. So apparently they would have took the foot off the gas massively with an FA Cup final in the week. But Watford again, gone down. You can't really sympathise much with them, really.
No.
In terms of the decisions they made, especially that sacking. Still can't get my head over that. But the last relegation game we'll talk about is Aston Villa. Not going to lie, if you told me about 2-3 weeks ago Villa were going to stay up, I would have laughed. No disrespect to Villa, but they seem down and out. And then they've somehow got 8 points in the last 4 games, and they've turned it around. Main question, I'm not going to talk about the game much because it doesn't really matter. They drew 1-1, they stayed up. Do you think they can keep Grealish, or do you think he's on his way out from Aston Villa?
Yeah, I think he's on his way out unless they somehow offer him some huge contract. Then I can see him going out. But I don't even think it matters about the contract. I think with rumours of bigger teams coming in for him, I think if the interest of a bigger team comes in, a bigger league position finish, European football maybe, and overall safety in the Premier League. Because yes, Aston Villa stayed up this year, won't be plain sailing from next year.
Yep.
So I don't think they'll be able to hold on to him, and I think if they get offered a good amount of money, I think they might just have to take it for their sake.
Yeah, because I was speaking to this, speaking about this with my dad, and we were like, right, if they go down to the Championship, he's gonna go.
Yeah.
If they stay up, he's more than likely gonna go. But we were kind of saying the fact they've stayed up just make it a little harder, because you do kind of go like, does he want to try and keep them up again, or does he want to challenge? Because for me personally, I think this is the perfect time for him to go.
Yeah.
You know, he stayed with them firstly through the summer, because there was interest for him in the summer. He stayed, he captained them, he kept them up. You can't fault that, and I think now on a high, I think if they get a good chunk of money for him, which they will, because you got like United, City, I think Leicester. I think he'd be a great fit for Leicester. Him and Maddison. They'll be sniffing him around for him. So I think now, personally, with the way the season's finished, I think this is a perfect time for him to leave.
Yeah.
Because obviously club legend. He'll probably go back when he's a bit older. So I think Grealish needs to go for his own sake. Don't want to be a one-man club, because that doesn't have as much value anymore as it did back then, being a one-man club. But I think his goal was fantastic. We saw it as well before this good left foot strike. So, but I think for Aston Villa, like, we've seen the goal as well, West Ham's. I'm presuming you would have kept up to date with the score during when it was happening. I'm presuming you would have kept, what are Villa doing?
Yeah.
When you see that go to 1-1 and they equalise straight away, were you like, not obviously you wouldn't have been worried because you're not a Villa fan, but were you a bit like, oh no, could they throw this away?
Yeah, considering they've gone from, I think was it about 6 minutes away from getting 3 points, 2 minutes later to drawing, the momentum would have completely gone to West Ham. Aston Villa would have been able to try and keep their heads up and keep themselves in it. But they've done it. But if I was a Villa fan, I would have been nervous.
Yeah, I would just, because I think what everyone drawn back to, especially in the Arsenal game, if they were to draw that, was the Everton game. Like 3 minutes ago, conceded. And, when you're defending, especially 1-goal leads, when you have a game like that, where you've just thrown away that 1-goal lead near the end, that'll always be in the back of your mind. It's like, oh no, not again. Obviously, let's get this straight. West Ham's goal was extremely lucky. Like, realistically, it shouldn't have even gone in, if you have a look at it. But apparently, I didn't watch it, but apparently they defended really well, and then they celebrated their survival, rightly so. Roy Keane. So, so they stay up. Villa, I'm glad they're the one who stayed up out of the 3 that were in contention to be relegated. Because big team. I do like Dean Smith a lot. I think he's a good manager. I think as well, but what's good with them, I think they'll be able to keep pretty much all their team. Other than Jack Grealish. They might lose like McGinn, maybe. But I don't see many big teams coming in for like Villa's like bigger players other than Grealish. So I think they'll be able to keep their core.
Yeah.
Which is obviously the most important for any team. We're gonna wrap it up soon. Don't want to go for too long. And I do have a Domino's to my left that was passed to me during it, so I can just smell it. So with the league, Liverpool won it. Obviously, deserved winners. Next season, do you think they can replicate the same, or do you think they'll have kind of not City's like syndrome, like where they've gone and won it by however many points and dropped off, but do you think they'll be able to finish again like 95 kind of plus points? And if you do you think anyone will be able to challenge them again? Because the City didn't this year.
See, I think it's one of them, like, with Liverpool's recent performance, since they've been crowned champions, of course they're going to lose a little bit of the fight. But yes, like, if you win the league, right, you'll accept, taking the foot off the gas a bit, but not getting beat, was it 4-0?
Should have been 5.
To City.
Should have been 5.
And going 1-0 down after 30 seconds to Newcastle.
That was mental.
Um,
That was that was
getting beat to Arsenal, and no disrespect to Arsenal and Newcastle, but when you've gone on however many games unbeaten and a massive win streak, I think like dropping it and like in a way downgrading the way they were playing is a bit embarrassing. But I think City, I think even Chelsea, I do think Chelsea will have a good season next year. I think them three in particular, well, them two will be chasing down Liverpool.
Yeah, 100%. I think with Liverpool, obviously this is the first time they're champions, so it'll be interesting to see how they defend it, obviously, and if they will be able to, start again next season like the last 5 didn't happen. If you know what I mean, like because obviously they had nothing to play for at all, and I kind of understand why they took the foot off the gas. My argument to that is City won it 2017-18, got 100 points. Did City slow down? No.
No.
Oh, but because it's Liverpool and it's their first one, they can get, it's don't matter. It's like you're saying, Liverpool, comparing it to the Invincibles and to these best Premier League teams ever. They didn't get as many points as City in that 100-point season. They lost 3 games in the end.
Yeah.
And it's like just because it's Liverpool, it doesn't mean everything's great.
Yeah.
Just because it's the first time. It's like City, no right, especially at that time, because getting 100 points was unheard of. Like when they did it the first time, obviously it's more known to hit like above 90 points now and towards 100 point. But it's like I hated the fact that because it's Liverpool, it's like no, it's fine, take the foot off the gas.
Yeah.
But when City does it, like when City didn't do that and got 100 points, because imagine if Liverpool got 100 points. All my days, best Premier League team ever. This, that. It was like, right, okay. I was like, respect. They've won the first Premier League. I totally understand it. But don't come talking to me saying that's one of the best Premier League teams ever.
Yeah.
Get out. I don't even want to hear it.
Because looking at their season, right, what has made their season different to, for example, City's 100 points, the Invincibles, apart from the fact they had such a big lead?
And other than the fact that it was the first one, other than that.
Oh, yeah. There's that as well. But that's it, really. That's it to it.
It's like last season, City got 98 points. Whoa, big difference to 99. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I'm not trying to hate on Liverpool or anything. They just completely deserve the title. Like everyone else was rubbish. City went on it despite getting the most clean sheets, which is just a bit weird. I know Alisson would have got it. Don't comment that. I know if he wasn't injured, Alisson would have got it. Calm down. But it was strange. They win the league, but because it's Liverpool, will allow them that they can take the foot off the gas. It's like, one of the best teams to ever win the Prem. It's like, come on. Firstly, we have a team who didn't lose a game in a season, which is ridiculous. We have a City team who won more points than them in a season. Yes, I know it was only 1 point, but still, triple figure point tally is just it's just amazing. So, but no, I think it's hard to predict because you just don't know.
Yeah.
Because obviously, because City was so poor this season compared to previous seasons, you don't know what City are going to get. You don't know what Liverpool were going to get because they're going to be defending it for the first time. Will Chelsea be able to spring into life like we think they're going to be with this new attack? Will United be able to keep up their momentum from the end of this season? Will Leicester drop off because they have to play Europe on Thursday? So it's there's a lot of if buts and maybes. Obviously on this channel we do absolutes. If you know that reference, you'll understand that a bit more. But for Liverpool, I think great season. Not the best team to ever win the Prem, far from it. But just to quickly, and Henderson winning Player of the Year. Don't want to speak too much, Nick. Don't want to get rinsed by Liverpool fans, but how? just how?
No, it's a Pogba. It is a disgrace. How are you doing that?
Isn't it? Like, what? De Bruyne, 13 goals, 20 assists. I think it was something like that. I know Henderson plays a different role, But like, yeah, assist equal Thierry Henry's assist record, and he does not get Player of the Year. Are you joking? Oh man, yeah, that wound me up a little bit. But yeah, this podcast was just to kind of have a bit of a summary of the last day, kind of discuss like what we have. I'm gonna try and get these podcasts out weekly again. Hopefully, all being well. I might try and make it like every Wednesday. Record them Sunday, do them record them Wednesday. Because I do enjoy them. I do enjoy having a good chat. Next episode, I'm going to try and hopefully discuss the Champions League. Obviously, that's coming up, so I think that'd be interesting. But I just wanted to get the podcast back on the road. So I thought this would be a good episode to do. Thanks, Harvey, for.
It was enjoyable. Thanks for having on me. Thanks for having me
once again. Yeah, hopefully the next one will be out next Wednesday. Again, I don't know because obviously we know commentaries for a little bit until the Champions League. I was going to do the playoff final, but I don't want to, so I'm not. So I'm back for the Champions League. But yeah, make sure you check out the Football Manager Stop McCarthy playlist. That is in the description. Go and check out all the episodes. That's a really good series. Obviously, I'd say that because I wanted to watch it, but go and check it out for yourself. But other than that, we're going to end this here. Yeah, like and subscribe, and hopefully next Wednesday I'll see you for the next episode of the Football Commentaries podcast.